You know, it's times like this I wonder where that magic the Reverend Wilbert Audrey bestowed to us, or where we went wrong in this horrible world. You see, before all this happened, I was quite famous around this little island. If you're wondering which am so you're not, and to be honest, I don't care. I stopped caring about most things a long time ago. Anyways, my name is Bob Lenson. I used to be the driver of the Northwestern's #1 IMSA. He doesn't need any introduction, but in case you're not from these parts, his name was Thomas. He and the rest of the fleet of engines all were living, breathing beings. However, now I bet they wish they weren't. I enjoyed my life working on the railway. My God, the people you met here were the nicest bunch of people you could meet. Anyways, now time to talk about the days before this all began. The island was quite buzzy, which makes sense when you have a whole damn company on a tiny little island. Thomas' job revolves around his branch line, mainly pulling his coaches in Claraval and small goods train. We had just pulled into Ellsbridge with our final passenger train for the night, where we saw Percy in the goods shed. We were confused as to why he was still here. As he pulled the mail train at night, we asked Greg, the station master, and he said Percy had broken down and needed to go to Croghan's Gate. I knew where this was going, and Thomas was not happy. We coupled up to Percy and mail train and pulled them out of the yard. We had pulled the mail in months, and I won't lie, I enjoyed it. It was a really good night where you could see every star. I remember when we stopped at each station to deliver some mail, I would just look up at the sky. It was so peaceful. Well, almost Thomas and Percy were arguing the whole damn time. Honestly, if you watched the show and then saw them in person, you'd think they were different engines, and this kept on till we reached Croghan's Gate. We shunted Percy into the work shed and were about to leave when the yard manager said that due to our delays we could leave, as several trains would be going down the line like the express, and the kipper Thomas really cross about this and said he just wanted to head back to his warm shed, but we couldn't, so we reversed him into the shed with Percy and we left to find somewhere to sleep for the night. I hope Percy is still asleep by the time we left. I really did want to deal with their shit. I heard word that America was in some sort of major crisis. I didn't believe, nor did I worry about it. We were across a massive ocean, and whatever was going on over there couldn't reach us. If only that were true. There was this sickness going around, and if you got it, then you were shit out of luck. There was no treatment. All anyone could ever said was pray and hope that it worked, and in case you're wondering, no, it did work. You got whatever the hell it was and died. From what I hear, it was the most gruesome thing you could ever put someone through. Of course, I thought it was just overinfection. That was hyped by the media, but when the infection began praying for death, that's when I knew it was really bad. I felt sorry for them, I really did, but there was nothing I could do. Around this time I was made aware of some strange reports by TID. People had been noticing strange characters wandering around at the time. It didn't make any sense, but now it does, so that's all that matters, I guess. We had just steamed up Thomas and were leaving the works when we were stopped at a signal, and while waiting we saw Rennies, who was filling up on water. He was talking to Thomas about how his fireman was acting good lately and that the new water they had just received felt good. We just shrugged it. I mean, what else could we do? Everyone has those days where they're just a little off. Rennies then made a joke saying he hoped he wouldn't get any fish in his tanks. I wish he had them. Now Thomas was put in a sore mood and would have to put up with it all bloody day. We had picked up Annie in Claraval and were waiting for Bertie from Ellsbridge, but he never arrived. We got a call from his driver saying how they had gotten into an accident, but before he could continue the call, and I thought I heard word moans and what I thought were screams in the background. I was worried, but he did say that there was an accident. I just did hope they were all right. We were waiting for the rest of our passengers to board, and something caught my eye there in the distance was a large group of people. This group was huge, I tell you. However, something was off. They were all making weird sounds and noises. A workman went to see what the problem was, but once he got close, he screamed in fear, began to run. However, those things got him and pulled him into the horde and devoured him. That was when they began to pick up the pace and began to run. The passengers boarded faster than I've ever seen before. The remaining workmen banged on the doors, begging to be let inside. When those things made it to the platform and attacked them, it was an awful sight. I threw on the throttle, and with a jerk we raced down the branch line. Thomas had never moved so fast in his life, nor had he ever been so scared. While we were running, we saw Daisy and shit. She looked confused and scared. As we rounded the bend, we heard the screams and the banging. It made it, but she did make it. However, those things did stop us, and we kept running. I kept yelling at Ted to keep shoveling coal, as we needed as much steam as possible, and he kept yelling at me to keep Thomas steady, but eventually we made it to Ellsbridge. We backed into the goods shed, and I was sweating my ass off. No one knew what was going on, and Thomas was scared beyond belief. He was panicking, saying how we had to keep going to get as far away as possible. That was going to happen. We were low on coal. Thankfully, there was a truck of coal filled with, so that was one of our problems solved. It took a while to refill his binker by hand, but as long as we had coal and water, we'd be fine. While we were refilling Thomas with coal, a whistle echoed from the nearby Henry's tunnel, and Emily rushed past with her coaches. The first two were filled with scared people, while the third was a different story. It shook and rattled. I thought I heard muffles from within, but I couldn't tell as blood coated the windows from within.